I accidentally got sucked into a broke guy game. The winner here will get a 1 million yuan cash prize. But the rule is you only have 50 yuan to survive 7 days. If it were you, how would you manage to stay alive? As a professional broke guy myself, the second I laid eyes on the rules, I already found the loophole of the game. Soon the system's robotic voice blared out. Welcome, 100 players to the broke guy game. Starting capital, 50 yuan. Goal, survive 7 days in the game. Winner receives 1 million yuan bonus. Overspending, dying or leaving the game area will all be considered as elimination. Eliminated players will be 1 million yuan in debt. The voice paused for a second, tinged with a hint of slyness. Any cowards want to quit right now? Are you kidding me? I can survive 7 days on just water. Next to me, a chubby guy in a cheap t-shirt chimed in. 50 yuan can buy steamed buns and pickles. If we stretch it, it's more than enough. Take the gamble. Turn your bike into a motorcycle. Only an idiot would quit. The crowd started murmuring, filled with blind excitement. Great! None of the 100 players have quit. Game rules are officially in effect now. Players can no longer exit the game. All 100 players have been deployed. Welcome to Airport Stray. Good luck to everyone. A flash of white light went off in front of my eyes, and I found myself in a modern airport. The airport was so big I couldn't see the end of it. Crowds of people were walking back and forth. No way to tell who's a player and who's an NPC. And in my game account, there was my 50 yuan starting capital. 3 stats also popped up on my interface. Hunger, thirst, and energy. Right now, all 3 stats are full. I saw a convenience store across the way, so I walked over to check the prices. When I got to the fridge, a teary yelp exploded out of nowhere. Holy shit, a bottle of water is 15 yuan. That's straight up robbery. I walked over, scanning the shelves with my eyes. My heart sank to my stomach. Small cake, 53 yuan. Meiji snack, 40 yuan. Steamed bun, 10 yuan each. Even the cheapest pack of soda crackers cost 18 yuan. That's only 7 yuan per day. Not even enough for half a bottle of water. The chubby guy looked at me, his face full of despair. Player 66, we're so screwed. This money only buys 3 bottles of water. We'll die in a week. I sighed. The system isn't running a charity. I knew it wouldn't be this easy. Other players also swarmed the convenience store. Shock and panic written all over their faces too. The chubby guy pulled me aside and said, Player 66, I'm Player 44, username Wuchi. Let's team up. If anyone messes with you, I'll beat them up. Then he showed off a set of grappling moves. Looked pretty agile, actually. Before I figure out all the game rules, I don't want to team up with anyone, so I politely turned him down and left the store alone. First, I needed to find free water. I found a water dispenser outside the restroom, and right next to it, I found 2 discarded mineral water bottles. I washed them out thoroughly, then filled both up to the brim. Water problem solved. Total cost 0 yuan. Next up is getting energy. I spotted a coffee shop. On the condiment counter, sugar packets, creamer cups, brown sugar packets were neatly stacked. Sugar is a super important energy source. These sugar packets can be used in emergencies. To prevent low blood sugar, I walked over with a deadpan face, moving as naturally as if I was grabbing stuff from my own home. A dozen or so sugar packets and a few creamers slipped into my pocket in a second. The whole process took less than 2 seconds. Then I walked out of the coffee shop calmly. I went to a quiet corner with no one around, tore open 2 sugar packets, and poured the whole thing into my mouth. An overpowering sweetness exploded in my mouth, bringing a false sense of satisfaction. Sugar problem solved, total cost 0 yuan. The airport AC was cranked up so high it was like an icebox. Maybe the system did it on purpose. Colder temperatures mean you burn energy faster. My thin clothes couldn't block the cold at all. I had to move around to stay warm. I rummaged through a trash can and found a blanket someone threw away after getting off the plane. As time went by, the hunger pangs got worse and worse. It was 8 p.m. I wandered up to a bakery where the unsold bread in the glass window was giving off a tempting smell of wheat. My stomach growled super loud. My sharp broke-ass intuition told me the bread should be on sale by now. The toast that cost 30 yuan originally is only 15 now. But time's not moving fast enough. The discount could be even bigger when they close. They might even give them away for free. Every penny I save is another chance to stay alive. I sat on the chair right across from the bakery, resting with my eyes half closed. Just then, 20 to 30 figures came rushing from all directions. They ran wildly towards the bakery. The tiny bakery entrance was packed solid in seconds. In the chaos, I saw people waving cash around. Some even grabbed bread straight off the shelves. The panicked staff yelled at everyone to line up. Line up? It was totally useless. In just a few minutes, all the discounted bread on the shelves, including the toast I had my eye on, was completely gone. People who got bread looked relieved, like they just survived a disaster. Those who didn't get any beat their chests in frustration, with total despair in their eyes. The air was filled with curses from other players, complaints and desperate sighs. My hunger meter has already dropped by 70% right now. I took a deep breath. Holding back the cramp in my stomach, I looked away from the chaotic crowd and lifted my gaze to the upper part of the airport. The huge flight information display screen. Red flight status updates kept scrolling across it. It's time to show what I'm really made of. In this airport, players can go anywhere they want. You can even go to the boarding gate without a ticket. I scanned the big screen quickly and pinpointed several bold red delayed flight notifications. Flights delayed for more than 6 hours are my targets. So I dragged my wobbly legs and headed for one of the boarding gates. A small crowd had already gathered there. The air reeked of anxiety and sweat. Boarding gate 102 has been delayed for 8 hours already. Stranded passengers had surrounded the ground staff completely. The ground staff was a young girl. Her face was bright red with frustration. Passengers were practically spitting in her face as they yelled, "Useless! What the hell is your airline even doing? My kid is crying from hunger. Are you gonna do anything about it? Are you gonna compensate us? We definitely deserve compensation. Pay us right now!" It was total chaos. The ground staff girl's voice was completely drowned out by the yelling. She was so anxious she was about to cry. It hit me all of a sudden that this was my chance. I pushed my way through the crowd as hard as I could to the center and stood right in front of the ground staff girl. "Quiet!" I yelled at the top of my lungs. The crowd went quiet out of shock from the sudden outburst. I pointed at the mother holding the crying kid and yelled to all the passengers, "Look at this! Look how upset this kid is. Even if we yell our throats raw here, will the plane be able to take off any faster? The airline is in the wrong here. They have to take responsibility. But what do we need most right now? Food and a place to rest. We need to save our energy. To fight this out with them." I turned to the almost breaking down ground staff girl and spoke really fast. "Everyone is super emotional right now. Your top priority is to calm the passengers down. Hand out meal vouchers and hotel vouchers right now. Let everyone get something to eat first. And get settled. If this blows up, do you think you can take the blame?" I keep telling them, we can give out meal and hotel vouchers. They just won't take them. The girl said, her voice full of grievance. "Everyone line up. Collect them with your boarding passes. At a time like this, you still care about following procedures?" I cut her off, pointing at the mom with the kid. "Look how tired this mom is. She's been holding her kid waiting for 8 hours. And she still has to line up for your meal voucher?" I turned to the mom and said, "Sis, give me your boarding pass. I'll help you." I held out my hand with an unmistakable authoritative vibe. The mom grabbed onto me like I was her lifeline and immediately stuffed her boarding pass into my hand. Once someone took the lead, it worked right away. Several other passengers with elderly people or kids, or who looked completely exhausted, also started shoving their boarding passes into my hand. Me too. I was suddenly holding more than a dozen boarding passes in my hand. I turned to the ground staff, held the passes out in front of her, lowered my voice. "Hurry up. Take care of the most urgent cases first. That's way better than this making the news, right? Give me 2 extra meal vouchers. I'll help you calm down these people with kids. Everyone gets to save face this way." The ground staff girl looked at me gratefully and operated the machine really fast. Soon she took out a stack of meal vouchers, counted out the ones matching the boarding passes in my hand, then quickly grabbed 2 extra ones, stuffed them all together into my hand. Her eyes were full of gratitude. My heart was pounding like crazy, but I kept a straight face. "Ma'am, take your baby and go eat right away. Sir, here you go. Take care of it." I quickly handed out the matching meal vouchers and boarding passes, moving real quick. Finally, I clutched the 2 extra meal vouchers and stuffed them into my innermost pocket. I yelled to the crowd, "Everyone, get your vouchers first. Go eat and rest. Save your strength. We'll settle the score with them later." While the crowd was focused on getting vouchers, I slipped through the crowd like a slippery eel in no time and vanished into the busy terminal corridors. If you want to survive this game, You have to be better at exploiting loopholes than everyone else. Right after I left the waiting hall, I saw Wu Qi again. He smiled all innocent and said, "Number 66. I've seen what you're capable of. That negotiation you did earlier was just like a gang boss in a movie. Are you sure you don't want to team up with us? We might need to help each other later, you know?" In just one day, he'd already gotten 4 other players to join him. I turned down his invitation again. I used the meal voucher to get a full meal. My hunger bar was temporarily full, but exhaustion hit me like a tidal wave. My energy bar had already dropped below 50%. It was 11 p.m. now. The airport was noticeably less crowded. Most shops were starting to close up. The lights were getting dim too. There was this indescribably creepy vibe spreading throughout the terminal. All the chairs had armrests, so you couldn't lie down flat on them. A young player probably couldn't hold on any longer, wrapped himself in a thin coat and curled up on the floor trying to sleep. Barely 2 minutes later, a bright spotlight shone directly on his face. "Get up, you can't lie down here," the security guard said in a completely flat voice. The young player ignored the NPC, rolled over and kept sleeping. Suddenly, a group of security guards rushed out from the corner. Without saying a word, they forcefully lifted him up and threw him outside the airport entrance. A broadcast popped up on the game's public screen. Player 13 eliminated for leaving the game area. Debt 1 million. Right after that, players from different areas were eliminated the exact same way. The system is pushing us to the limit with exhaustion and cold to squeeze out the last bit of sanity from players. By this point, my energy bar was critically low. To avoid getting eliminated, I draped my tattered blanket over myself, sat down on a waiting hall chair and fell asleep. The rising sun the next day told us only 1 day had passed in the game. My energy bar barely crawled back up to 75%, but my hunger bar dropped back to 50% again. I still had 1 meal voucher left on me. I wasn't really worried about it. I took a sip of cold water, ate 2 packs of candy, and headed back to the departure hall to hunt for loot. A player suddenly sprinted forward and snatched a hot dog out of a little kid's hand. The kid immediately started crying. Security guards rushed over when they heard the noise and surrounded the player, escorted him into a police car outside the airport. Right then, the system broadcast went off again. Player 25 robbed an NPC of food, eliminated after being thrown out of the airport by security. Debt 1 million. I figured something out. In this airport, you can't do anything that alerts the security guards. But something was off about the airport today. Not a single delayed flight showed up. I guessed the loophole I exploited had probably been patched by the system. That day, I wandered around the hall like a regular passenger. I popped into every shop that had free samples. Of course, I only ate and didn't buy anything. I watched the clerk's expression while I ate the samples. When he noticed I was only eating and not buying, I'd run off right away. I scraped by like this until evening. I used my last meal voucher for dinner and filled up my hunger bar again. My energy bar dropped even lower today. This time I didn't settle for sleeping on a chair. I snuck into a dim side corridor. At the end of the corridor was the perfect spot I found earlier that day. An abandoned utility room with a door left ajar. It was full of junk inside, but once you shut the door, it was your own little space. I just stepped into the utility room and hadn't even shut the door all the way yet, when there was a loud bang. Someone kicked the utility room door open. It was a tall guy with slanted, upturned eyes, followed by 2 tough-looking young guys. "Get lost, this spot is ours now," the tall guy yelled at me. I vaguely recognized this tall guy. Yesterday at the bakery, he robbed way more aggressively than everyone else. He even snatched loaves of bread right from 2 other players' hands. I knew I couldn't afford to mess with him. I decided to give up this prime spot. Just as I reached the door of the utility room, the tall guy suddenly pulled out a knife and threatened, "Hand over all the remaining money and food you have on you, or I'll kill you." The madness and cruelty in their eyes told me they would definitely go through with it. My brain was racing a mile a minute. I had 0 chance of winning if I fought them head on. Handing over my money means I get eliminated and end up with a $1 million debt. What do I do? What do I do? I swallowed hard and said, "Brother, let's talk this through nicely. Robbing will get you eliminated by the system, you know? Cut the crap, hurry up!" I don't have the patience for this. He pressed the fruit knife another 2 millimeters into my neck. I gave up resisting and immediately transferred the $50 in my account to him. Only if I stay alive in the game do I have a shot at making $1 million. After the tall guy got the money, he shoved me out hard They closed the door. I heard smug voices coming from inside. Straight up robbing people works so well. Thanks to whoever told us that robbing money won't get you eliminated. Now we don't have to worry about running out of money. Who was this he they were talking about? Robbing NPCs isn't allowed, but robbing or even killing other players is okay. Who knows the game rules that well? It's only the second day of the game, and I already lost my last $50. No money, no food. Am I just gonna wait here to die? Soon, someone posted an anonymous message on the game's public screen. Come to the bakery in Area A, floor L3 right now. Bread is half price here. The utility room door opened. The tall guy walked out with his goons. I quickly hid off to the side and followed them toward the convenience store. The three of them used all the money they robbed to buy soda crackers. Right as the electronic payment success tone went off, the system broadcasted across the game. Players 5, 49, and 61 are eliminated for overspending. They will bear a $1 million debt. The tall guy let out a wail. Before he even finished making a sound, he vanished into thin air like a flash of light. The other two young guys also disappeared. Dozens of packs of soda crackers and 4 or 5 loaves of bread fell to the ground. I rushed over immediately, took off my jacket, and wrapped the crackers and bread up tightly. My guess was totally right. The system said at the start that overspending leads to elimination. But everyone only has $50 in their account. How is overspending even possible? There's only one explanation. If you rob money from other players and use it, any amount over 50 counts as overspending. But the tall guy robbed people's bread at the bakery and didn't get eliminated. That means stealing other people's food doesn't count. You can already guess that in the next few days, more people who figure out the rules will fight like crazy for food. So I have to hide this food I have really well. With this much food, I can definitely make it till the end of the game. No problem. So I found 5 spots I thought were safe and hid the crackers separately in them. Unlocking 1 spot a day will get me through the remaining 5 days. After I finished all that, my energy level was super low. Soon, I fell asleep again, sitting on a chair in the waiting hall. The game entered its 3rd day. A heart-wrenching cough exploded not far from me. It immediately caught the attention of everyone around. It was player 47, that frail-looking girl. She was curled up on the cold metal bench, shaking violently. Her face was bright red from coughing, even a little purple in spots. Her boyfriend, who was also a player, looked disgusted. "What's wrong with you? If you have a fever, don't die before day 7. Player 47's voice was hoarse, weak and heavy with a stuffy nose. I just suddenly feel so cold and awful. Ayung, can you hold me please? No way, what if you get me sick too? Suddenly a sharp siren went off out of nowhere across the entire terminal. A set of heavy synchronized footsteps came from the far end of the hallway. Epidemic prevention staff in white hazmat suits easily lifted player 47 up. Let go of me. I don't want to be eliminated. Please help me. Help me. But Ayong didn't even glance at her. He turned around and ran right away. The epidemic prevention staff ignored player 47's cries, pushed the stretcher past all the shocked players, and quickly vanished at the end of the hallway. A few seconds later, the system broadcast came on. Player 47 has seriously endangered public health safety and has been forcibly removed from the game area for quarantine. Eliminated with a debt of 1 million yuan. Player 87 has seriously endangered public health safety and has been forcibly removed from the game area for quarantine. Eliminated with a debt of 1 million yuan. The players looked at each other in dismay. Their eyes were full of suspicion. Player 87 ate food he dug out of the trash yesterday. He had terrible diarrhea today. Having a cold is not allowed. Having diarrhea is not allowed either. I traded water for food within the team. Who's gonna be next? A cough from someone nearby, even just clearing their throat, is enough to make everyone jump out of their skin. I learned another game rule. You can't get sick. Even a minor cold or diarrhea will get you removed from the game area. I survived the day on the bread and cookies I found. The airport is even colder today. It's literally an ice cellar. In the trash can, I found a piece of thermal metal blanket made for mountain hikers. Wrapping it around me finally kept me warm. Time moved on to day 4. More and more people were getting eliminated. I woke up early in the morning and decided to get today's bread and cookies. I carefully avoided the crowd and walked towards the first hiding spot. It was behind a remote restroom, the gap between the bottom of a huge plant pot and the wall. When I got close, I squatted down and reached into that familiar gap to feel around. It was empty. There was nothing inside at all. My heart sank. I felt around carefully again, not ready to give up. I didn't even find a crumb of a cookie wrapper. I didn't have time to think about anything else and ran towards the next hiding spot. Nothing. Still nothing. All 4 cookie hiding spots had been stolen. Dozens of bags of life-saving soda crackers and bread had vanished without a trace overnight. What was supposed to be a sure win was completely turned upside down all of a sudden. Being able to find all the spots accurately overnight and clear them out without making a sound is definitely not something regular players can do. Who the hell has been watching me this whole time? My mood hit rock bottom instantly. I swallowed my pride and went looking for free food samples. But more and more players were grabbing the samples. The vendors had already become wary and hid all the free sample food. Even the condiment counter at the coffee shop was empty. All the sugar packets had been taken away by the waitstaff, and the trash cans had become a highly contested spot. Lots of players still risked getting diarrhea, digging through the trash for food. By the time I got there, I didn't even see any leftover food scraps. I hung on like that until 10 p.m. All my body stats were in the red. I walked towards a row of luxury stores at the airport. The players next to me were whispering, "This guy's probably going to get eliminated." What can you even do at a luxury store? Buy the trash can not far from the luxury stores. I dug up a few bags and boxes that other people threw away. Lots of travelers, to avoid paying tax, choose to throw away the boxes at the airport before their flight. I carefully stuffed the boxes into the best intact bag and carried it in my hand. Before I went down to the first floor departure hall, when I was scouting the area earlier, I found there was a hot pot restaurant open there. So now I'm gonna mooch a free place to rest, and also mooch some free food. I pushed open the heavy glass door. Warm air and the smell of beef tallow hot pot base hit me right away. A waitress with a sweet smile ran up to greet me. "Welcome. How many of you, sir?" "2. I put the eye-catching luxury bag in my hand, casually on the chair next to me. My voice had a faint, unnoticeable hoarseness to it. "Get me a quiet spot. I'm waiting for someone." The waitress glanced at the bag in my hand, and her smile grew even wider. Sure. "This way, please. Someone who can buy this much luxury goods is definitely not a poor guy here to mooch food." She led me to a semi-enclosed, cushioned sofa booth. It had really great privacy. As soon as I sat down, I pulled out my phone immediately. My fingers swiped across the screen quickly and dialed a number that didn't even exist. The second the call connected, my voice, thick with tears, exploded in the relatively quiet area. "I'm waiting for you at the airport hot pot restaurant. I bought a 3 a.m. flight to Paris. If you don't come, you'll never see me again in your life." I slammed my phone hard on the table. Tears welled up in my eyes instantly. The waitress quickly brought over a bowl of steaming hot white fungus soup and a small plate of fruit. Her voice was so gentle it could melt. "Calm down, sir. Have something to drink to moisten your throat first. Did your girlfriend make you mad?" My voice was super nasally, like I had a bad stuffy nose. I mumbled thanks, but just the thought of her with her all-time favorite crush made me lose my appetite completely. The server set a bowl of white fungus soup in front of me. I told myself I have to eat even when I'm upset. How else will I have the energy to wait for her to beg to win me back? I nodded and took the bowl from him. I took small, slow sips from it. The warm, sweet liquid slid down my parched throat. My stomach was growling like crazy from hunger, but I had to hold myself back right now. Soon the server brought over a free bowl of steamed egg custard. I got up looking all dazed and out of it, and headed to the condiment bar to scoop 3 huge spoonfuls of beef bits. I quickly dumped them all into the steamed egg bowl. I sat back down at my table, forcing myself not to scarf the whole thing down right away. I ate tiny little bites as politely as I could. At the same time, I kept a wary eye on the servers and the manager from my peripheral vision. That server was like a walking radar, I swear. "Sir, you look like you're having a really rough day. Would you like to try our new tomato soup? It's sweet and sour, super good for boosting your appetite." Next thing I knew, a bowl of bright, inviting tomato soup was set down in front of me too. "Let me grab you some free snacks too." And right after that, a plate of free French fries arrived. The server came over to me again, his eyes full of curiosity, gossip, and sympathy. He looked even more stressed out than I was. Alarm bells started going off in my head. He was checking on me way too often. I flipped my acting switch immediately. My eyes filled up with tears again. My voice was shaking with utter despair. "Is she really never coming back to me? I don't even want to leave, honestly. I lowered my head right on cue, and my shoulders started shaking violently. Whoa, hey, don't cry, don't cry. The server panicked. He immediately ran off and brought back a giant teddy bear and stuffed it into my arms. Let this guy keep you company. You're such a good-looking guy. She's definitely gonna regret leaving you. I held onto that fluffy teddy bear when a huge wave of exhaustion hit me all at once. My energy was running on fumes. I had to get some rest. I secretly set a vibrating alarm for 2 a.m. Then I hugged the teddy tight, curled up on the soft couch and closed my eyes. Right before I passed out, I prayed I wouldn't get kicked out. I don't know how long I slept for when the server suddenly woke me up. Sir, isn't your flight about to take off? Right on cue, my phone started buzzing like crazy. It was the alarm I set earlier. In a split second, I grabbed my phone sharply, didn't even check the caller ID, and yelled my pre-planned lines into the speaker. I waited 4 whole hours for you at this hot pot restaurant. And you still won't show up? Is that guy really that important to you? I'm leaving now. I'm really leaving for good. Can you just come see me one last time, please? I hung up the phone and buried my face in the teddy bear's chest. To everyone else around, it looked like I was crying my heart out. The manager stopped walking and shook his head. The server kindly brought me a blanket. I slept the whole night on that big couch. The next morning, when I was getting ready to leave, the server even brought me soy milk, congee, tea eggs, and other free food. He looked at me with encouraging eyes. You got this, sir. Leave that toxic girlfriend behind. You'll find someone way better. Congrats on your fresh start. Since I didn't order any paid items, I obviously didn't pay the bill. I mumbled my thanks quietly, turned around and walked out the glass door. My energy bar was completely full again. My hunger bar was maxed out too. This trick was pretty scummy, I know, and it only works one time. And I just used up my only ace up my sleeve. Soon, the game reached its 5th day. Right after I left the hot pot restaurant, I ran into Scum and his crew. His group had already grown to over 20 people. They were sharing out biscuits right then. The second I saw the biscuit packaging, my brain just short-circuited. Those were my missing biscuits. On every single bag, I had intentionally torn off a corner as a mark. I stormed over to them furiously. Scum, you stole my biscuits! Chill out, don't get mad. I told you a long time ago. You should have joined my team, but you wouldn't listen. Give my biscuits back to me. Look at all my teammates here. Give them back to you? Ha, nice try. Scum pointed behind him to the 20+ pairs of eyes, all glowing with greed. I took the biscuit he held out to me. I took a step back and asked if I could join you guys now. Number 66, you're too late. Wuchi smiled faintly, looking simple and honest. This game was never meant to be played solo from the start. Players can only team up to steal resources from other players to survive. You got no money, no food, and you're completely useless to us. So you're out. Got anything you want to say before you go? Right at this moment, the system suddenly issued an announcement. Attention all players. Welcome to day 5. To make the game more fun, all water dispensers in the airport are out of service starting today. Water in restrooms is contaminated and undrinkable. To the ground, Wuchi said coldly. I'm being nice enough not to kill you. Now get lost. I got up and ran immediately, not to run away from Wuchi, but to grab water first. I had to get to that place before anyone else realized it. the liquid disposal area. According to airport security rules, the volume of liquid containers you carry on you cannot exceed 100 milliliters. At the security checkpoint, passengers will throw mineral water, drinks, juice directly into the large dedicated trash cans next to it, or collection bins. Right now in the terminal, at the domestic departure security checkpoint, there are 3 waist-high, transparent plastic disposal bins with super large capacity. They're stuffed with half-drunk and even unopened bottles of mineral water. 2 security guards in uniform, aka NPCs, were standing nearby. Digging through the trash cans directly is obviously a bad idea, and it'll trigger the security alarm too. I can't wait any longer. This opportunity won't come again. I immediately put on a super anxious look on my face and walked quickly toward the security checkpoint, heading straight for those disposal bins. "Excuse me, coming through." My voice was hoarse, almost crying as I pushed through the people in line and successfully caught the security guard's attention. "Passenger, please wait in line." When these security guard frowned and stopped me. "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." So I spoke really fast and sounded genuinely panicked. I pointed at the disposal bin and said, "I think my ring fell over there. It's a keepsake my grandma left me. Please let me go look for it. Just a second, please, I'm begging you." As I said that, tears started rolling down my face. I looked totally sincere. The security guard froze for a second. He stepped to the side. "Hurry up! Don't hold up the line behind you!" "Thank you so much, sir." I thanked him profusely and immediately ran to the disposal bins to not bother everyone else. I'll take the trash bag to the side to look through it. So, I quietly carried the 3 big trash bags out of the bins and quickly retreated to where the security guard couldn't see me. Wow, this much water is definitely enough to get me through the next 3 days. I quickly emptied out 1 bag and stuffed all the unopened water bottles inside and left the security area quickly. My heart was pounding so hard it felt like it would burst. I didn't dare stop and ran straight into a nearby, relatively quiet accessible restroom. I locked the door behind me. No other players can ever find out that I have this much water all to myself. I stepped on the toilet and lifted up the restroom ceiling panel, hid some of the water in the ceiling. Then I walked out of the bathroom, found a few gaps, hid the rest of the water properly. I ran towards the international departure security checkpoint. I pulled the same trick again and got a large amount of water again. Hid it properly as usual. It's not that I'm greedy. I just have a bigger plan. It's now the end of day 5. 67 players are still in the game. Wuchi's team has 25 players. They are like a swarm of locusts, robbing every player they meet of water and food. They won't even leave a single biscuit behind. If anyone dares to resist, they will kick and beat the player violently. The NPCs turn a blind eye to the violence against players. No security guards come to stop it either. Suddenly, there was a loud thud. A player collapsed to the ground from low blood sugar and stopped moving not long after. "He's dead?" another player asked nervously. Several people in white coats carrying stretchers appeared, quickly lifted the player onto the stretcher, and covered him with a white cloth. It all happened so fast you could barely blink. Soon the system started broadcasting again. Player 93's experience points have dropped to 0. Eliminated. Debt 1 million. Way more players were eliminated in today's broadcasts. The player count is dropping like crazy. I need to find suitable allies to build a team that can fight Wuchi. In my mind, faces I observed these days flashed by quickly. A few figures stopped. It was a small group of 6 people. Their leader was the sharp-looking player 48. The other members all had their own characteristics. All of them are physically strong guys. I found them in the arrival hall. I observed them for a while and found they were not in good shape. One of the guys already had dry lips. Another guy kept licking his lips. They were obviously short of water. This is a good chance. I walked up to them with a luxury shopping bag. "Hi, I'm Li Chuan. Player 66. I want to join your team." Player 48 stood up and looked at me warily. "Leave, we are not recruiting anymore." I handed the bag over. There were 3 bottles of water inside. Everyone's eyes lit up. I said honestly, "I have access to safe water sources, enough to meet the team's basic drinking needs. In exchange, I want to join your team and share food with you. How much water do you have?" "Enough for 7 of us to last the remaining 3 days if we ration it." "Is that okay?" The quick-witted player 33 cut in, his eyes full of probing. I flatly refused to answer. "You just need to know I can get water." And I'm willing to share it with the team. That's enough. Only I can know where the water is stored. That's my ace in the hole. Player 48 turned around and exchanged a quick look with his teammates. Okay, Li Chuan. Welcome to the team. I'm Lumo. One rule for joining our team. You can never betray your teammates. Player 48 made the final decision and held out his hand to me. I nodded. Nice working with you. The dawn of day 6 didn't bring hope, but deeper despair. I went to the security area alone, hoping to get some more water, but I saw 5 security guards standing there, staring at the trash cans closely. Looks like the system blocked this loophole again. The last stable water source is gone. Players who suffered thirst all day yesterday couldn't help but drink water from the bathroom. The virus knocked them down, and they were eliminated. Right at this moment, the airport broadcast rang out without warning to speed up the elimination process and improve the viewing experience of the final showdown. We now activate the survival knockout mechanism. Today, the 20 players with the lowest hunger, thirst, and energy stats will be eliminated at 12 midnight. Please note, 3 emergency supply crates will spawn randomly in Terminal 3, containing enough food, water, and a small amount of medicine. The location of the crates will be broadcast map-wide once they appear. The public chat was instantly flooded with despair and curses. This stupid system wants all of us to be in debt. We were all tricked by it. First, they cut off the water supply. Now they're making us kill each other. It's so sneaky. Everyone calm down. Going to T3 is just asking for death. Panic soon started spreading among the team. Wuqi's team has the largest number of people. They are the most likely to get the emergency supply crates. Only 45 players are left now. Wuqi alone takes 25 spots. That means the remaining 20 people, unless their stats miraculously skyrocket. Otherwise, 12 p.m. will be doomsday for mass elimination. We can't let Wuqi's people get the emergency supply crates no matter what. Lumo's gaze fell on me. Li Chuan, how do you think broke guys turn things around in this hopeless situation? Broke folks never survive by going head-to-head with the strong. They exploit loopholes, find gaps and stir up chaos, and snatch chestnuts out of the fire. The first emergency supply crate has spawned on level B2 of Terminal 3, Staff Lounge. Sure enough, footsteps came from the distance. Wuqi's large group is heading straight for Terminal 3. Lumo got ready to lead the team. Don't let them get there first. Wait, I pulled him back. It's in the Staff Lounge. Do you know what that location means? I paused for a second. The first supply crate is definitely a trap. It'll get the first people who arrive eliminated. The system shut off the free water dispensers and sent guards to watch the trash cans. It's constantly reinforcing the NPC rules. This iron rule cannot be broken. The staff area is a restricted zone. Regular players can't get in at all. If you force your way in, the system will definitely flag it as illegal trespassing and eliminate you immediately. Will Wuqi send people to break in by force? I don't think he will. I sent Asia and Xiaomin to scout the area. They sent back word. Wu Kai really didn't let his teammates go further into the restricted zone. He split his team into several groups instead, to guard all paths leading to the staff lounge. His strategy is a blockade. Stop others from getting the crate. But he won't touch that hot potato himself either. As long as other players can't get the supplies, his team still has the upper hand. A few solo players lingering on the edge look desperate and deranged. Their stats are definitely at the bottom. They'll definitely be eliminated tonight. People like this are the easiest to manipulate. I hid behind a pillar, whispered to my teammates. The access card for the staff lounge is right in the fire cabinet next to it. No way, really. Did the system put it there on purpose? Keep it down. Wuqi's guys are guarding the door outside. We'll wait for the right moment to get the access card. The solo player standing in front of the pillar just heard that. He immediately got super pumped up and lunged for the fire cabinet. Stop him, Wuqi ordered. But it was already too late. The player ripped open the glass door of the fire cabinet. There was no access card inside at all. He set off the alarm. The shrill fire alarm instantly blared across the entire B2 level. Almost at the same time, 6 fully armed guards with riot forks appeared out of nowhere. The scene instantly descended into chaos. The guards didn't care who opened the fire cabinet. A squad of Wuqi's people, along with the player who opened the cabinet, were all poked out by the riot forks. Elimination announcements came one after another. Wuqi lost 5 people immediately. His team is down to 20 people. They didn't get the supply crate. They got nothing at all. That's when the second supply crate unlocked. The second emergency supply crate has spawned at the entrance of the VIP lounge on level L3 of Terminal 3. The entrance of the VIP lounge usually has a dedicated concierge desk and service staff. The environment is fancier, and security is tighter too. We observed from afar that the elevators leading to the L3 VIP area were already guarded by Wuqi's people, and on the coffee table in the VIP lounge lobby, that silver supply crate stood out clearly. What do we do? We can't even get close this time, Xiaomin asked anxiously. I handed my phone to Xiaomin. Take this to the lost and found. This is your stuff. Why do you want me to take your stuff to the lost and found? Xiaomin asked in surprise. Just go, do as I say. I urged her. Xiaomin left my phone at the lost and found. Half an hour later, I went to the lost and found. Pretending to be anxious, I asked, I lost a phone and a VIP lounge access card. When I was wandering around the airport, I also waited outside the VIP lounge before, hoping to scrounge up some food. I noticed that all passengers going in swipe a black VIP card to get in. This airport is so big, I don't believe no one has ever lost a VIP card here. I described the items to the staff, what the phone and VIP card looked like. The staff actually brought out my phone and a VIP card. Are these the two? Yes, exactly those two. I took the phone and the card excitedly. Thank you, wait a second. You need to show proof of ownership. Xiaowu distracted the staff next to me. I took the chance to unlock the phone with Face ID and secretly took a photo of the card. After I finished all that, I handed the phone to the staff. Look, my face unlocks the phone, and for the VIP card, I just happened to take a photo of it earlier. The staff let me go after verifying everything was correct. I walked to the VIP reception desk. A group of passengers was heading to the VIP lounge right then. There was a special shuttle cart taking them to the entrance. I snuck onto the cart when no one was looking. I sat right in the middle of the passengers. I avoided Wuqi's spies. I walked into the VIP lounge openly just like that. The security guard at the entrance took the card, swept it through the machine. The green light turned on. Welcome, Platinum member. Please come in. The door opened. Wuqi, who had been watching the VIP lounge the whole time, suddenly yelled at the top of his lungs. He must have stolen that card. I cursed this fat jerk under my breath. He's so devious. Lumo brought our guys, got into a fight with Wuqi's men at the elevator entrance. 6 against 10, we weren't at too much of a disadvantage. Taking advantage of the chaos, I quickly slipped through the glass door and got the supply crate. The system's voice sounded like angelic music. Congratulations to Player 66 for obtaining the supply crate. Items inside the supply crate can only be used by players designated by Player 66. Anyone who steals it illegally can't use the items. The third emergency supply crate has respawned on top of the central information desk in Terminal 3. It's a completely open, unobstructed platform. No restricted area traps, no VIP rules holding you back. It's a pure battlefield of strength and speed. Wu Kai immediately gave up pestering us. He told his team to head straight for the information desk. No one was guarding the VIP lounge entrance anymore. I walked out holding the crate. I opened it. It was full of supplies. Enough for the 7 of us to eat and drink for a whole day, as long as we fill up all 3 stats. There's no way we'll get eliminated tonight. Li Chuan, we owe you big time this time. Other players are rushing towards the 3rd crate. We stayed where we were and recharged our stats like crazy. For the sake of the last crate, Wu Qi completely dropped his act and resorted to straight-up unfiltered violence. The remaining players went head-to-head with Wu Qi's teammates. The fight got super brutal. People were badly injured. Wu Qi's team had more people, so they got the upper hand in the end. The 7 of us watched the fight from far away. Lumo said there's only 1 crate. It's not enough to supply all of Wu Qi's teammates. And the 1st crate is way too hard to get. I bet his team is screwed this round. The system's cold countdown ticked silently. 11:50 p.m. The atmosphere inside the terminal was suffocatingly tense. System settlement has started. Rankings are calculated based on hunger, thirst, and energy stats combined. The following 20 players with the lowest stats will be eliminated. The cold electronic voice. Read out each player number completely emotionlessly. Except for the 7 of us on our team, all other solo players were eliminated. Even people on Wu Qi's team got eliminated because the supplies from the 1 crate weren't split evenly. Only 13 of them were left in the end. Right after the announcement finished, the whole airport fell dead silent. 20 eliminated players get 1 million each. That means the total prize pool is 20 million. And if all players get eliminated, the final winner gets the entire 20 million, plus an extra 100 million for a total of 120 million. That number is enough to drive anyone crazy. Wuchi stared at us from far away. There was a bloodthirsty glint in his eyes. He licked his lips and told his teammates he didn't want them to hurt each other. But their team has more people and the upper hand. If they take out the 7 players on the other side, the 13 of them can split the 120 million prize evenly. That's the safest way to go. On our side, Lumo had an extremely serious look on his face. Everyone stay calm. Don't fall for the system's trick. Wuchi's team will definitely stick together and kill all of us first. So we can't fight each other. The 7 of us, take them out. All 13 of them, then we split the 120 million prize evenly. That's the best option we have right now. Pang Ding collapsed to the ground. How are we supposed to kill them? We have fewer people than them. We're just sitting ducks right now. Let's find a place to hide first and split them up. Yeah, I have an idea. I know a place. Tulvaira. A blood-red 24-hour countdown timer appeared on the screen. All the lights in the airport were instantly dyed, a blinding scarlet red, flashing frantically. A shrill alarm went off, but it wasn't coming from any speaker. It went straight into my mind instead. The NPCs were all bustling around just a second ago. Passengers, staff, security guards, vanished without a trace in an instant. Only the 20 of us players were left in the huge Terminal 3. Run! The instinct to survive overwhelmed fear. The 7 of us took off running as fast as we could. The second we stepped into the elevator, I slammed the close button over and over again. Clang! The elevator door shut right in front of Wuchi's ferocious face. Shit! Don't let him get away! Eliminate them! Victory is ours. The elevator plummeted downward and took us down to the underground garage. This place, hot humid air reeking of gasoline and dust hit me in the face. We split up right away, like spooked rats, each of us looking for cover. Almost the second we finished hiding, Wuchi and his men burst into the garage from the emergency stairs. 20 players were hiding in this huge parking lot. If I can just stall for time, I still have a shot at staying alive. I held my breath, pressed flat against the ground like a cold stone. Through the narrow gap under the car, I watched what was going on outside, flashed frantically. Player number 9 was killed by another player. 1 million has been transferred to the killer's account. Who was that? Who killed him? One of us? Right after that, the sound of fighting broke out, along with Pang Ding's miserable screams. Soon after, word came that Pang Ding had been eliminated. Players were scattered all over the garage. Screams came every now and then. The announcement kept cycling through player elimination notices. Num21 was eliminated by his own teammate. The scene got even more chaotic. Suspicion spread among all the players. Trust was completely falling apart. Another anonymous announcement came on. Go kill Wuchi. He's the previous champion. He holds 200 million in prize money. Eliminate him and split the 200 million. This news blew up the entire garage instantly. What? Wuchi? He's the last champion? No wonder he's so strong. Damn it, we got played! Wuchi hurried to explain. Don't listen to that anonymous jerk's nonsense. I'm just like all of you. This is my first time too. But no one believed him anymore. Faced with such a huge reward, all reason went out the window instantly. Take him out and we'll see if that 200 million is real. Get him! Get him! Another all-out fight broke out. This time everyone was seeing red. They fought like crazy for the rumored 200 million prize. I took advantage of the chaos and found an unlocked SUV and snuck into the trunk. In the dark space, I curled up into a ball. Through the crack in the trunk, I listened to the endless screams outside. Along with the system announcements, time passed minute by minute. The sounds outside died down more and more, until one moment, the garage went completely silent. I carefully peeked out through the crack. All I saw was wreckage all over the ground. Right then, a familiar voice called out, Li Chuan! Li Chuan, where are you? It was Lumo's voice. I caught Wu Chi. Come out quick. We'll kill him together. Then we can split the 200 million. Through the crack, I saw Lumo had Wu Chi tied up tight. I held my breath. I didn't dare answer him. Lumo walked past the car I was hiding in. I was just quietly letting out a sigh of relief. The next second, the trunk was ripped open violently. Blinding red light flooded in instantly. So you're here. You made me look everywhere. Hide and seek, huh? The game is over. Number 66. Lumo's voice was full of sickening mockery. Icy cold fear gripped my heart in an instant. Lumo grabbed me tightly and dragged me out of the trunk. You two are definitely working together. That so-called manhunt, that so-called team battle, it was all a trick you two put on. The goal was to use the rules to get others to kill for you, to get rid of all the players that got in your way. So only you two are left to split all the prize money. You know the game rules inside out. You used an anonymous identity to provoke players into robbing and killing each other. Then you reap all the benefits. You knew the last day would definitely be an all-out bloodbath. So Wuchi started forming a team from the very beginning, and Lumo deliberately acted as Wuchi's rival, so the two teams would fight it out on the last day. And you two take all the profits. Lumo had a playful smirk on his face. Lichuan, you're really smart. Thanks for everything these days. Wuchi finally ran out of patience. He roared ferociously. Laolu, let me go. Why even waste time talking to him? Just finish him off already. Lumo glanced coldly at Wuchi. Let you go? Are you kidding me? Splitting 100 million between two people is way worse than taking it all for myself. Plus you racked up 200 million in the last round. That should be mine too. He took him out with one move right after. Lumo then sneered, forgot to tell you. I sent that last stage name message. Player 44 eliminated, revealing Easter egg. Player 44 was the previous champion. Total accumulated amount, 200 million, has been transferred to the hunter's account. At this moment, Lumo was admiring his own spoils of war right now. I suddenly sprayed Stronghold hairspray right at Lumo's face. A big glob of sticky hairspray hit Lumo's face dead on. Lumo let out a shrill, agonized scream. He covered his face and stumbled back. He doubled over in pain. I scrambled towards the driver's seat on all fours. I checked earlier when I was hiding. Not only was the trunk of this car unlocked, the driver's side door was unlocked too, and the key was already in the ignition. Lumo yelled, "Number 66, I'll skin you alive." He ignored the pain, pounced like a raging lion. The dagger grazed past my head, stabbing hard into the leather driver's seat. My fingers touched the coal key. I twisted it hard. Rumble! The engine gave a low growl, roaring to life instantly. I shifted into drive almost at the same time. I put every ounce of strength I had into my right foot, slamming it down on the gas pedal. Lumo never expected the car to start all of a sudden. The huge impact sent him flying into the air. Then he slid limply to the ground, but he still tried to get back up. I shifted into reverse and drove straight towards him. Not long after, the system's final judgment announcement played. Player 48 eliminated, revealing Easter egg. Player 48 was the previous champion. Total accumulated amount, 180 million, has been transferred to the hunter's account. Current surviving players, 1. Congratulations, player. Player 66 has survived to the end, becoming the only champion of this round of Airport Drift. Player 66 wins 120 million in prize money this round, plus the 200 million and 180 million. Total prize money adds up to 500 million. I climbed out from under the driver's seat with great difficulty, covered in grease and dust from head to toe. There was no overwhelming joy, only a bone-deep exhaustion, and the weak, shaky feeling of surviving a disaster. The scarlet lights gradually faded away. The alarm stopped blaring. A flash of white light, and I was back in the empty game world from the very start. The system whispered in my ear, "You now have 500 million in prize money. Live well." But according to the rules, champions are not allowed to quit the game. Otherwise, you will owe 500 million in debt. The white light gradually faded away. I saw people standing all around me. All of them had their eyes wide open, looking around at their surroundings in shock and confusion. System, welcome 100 players to the Pauper game. Initial game fund, 50 yuan. Objective, survive 7 days in the game. The winner will receive 1 million in prize money.